It's 0600. What's the O stand for? Oh my God, it's early.
Wake me up, wake me up, wake up, wake me up.
So wake me up.
Wake up.
Rob Thompson.
Ginobili the other way in transition to the left hand slam.
I want some nasty.
Rudy J.
Cowboys win. How else would you settle this game?
How about them Cowboys?
Begin each day as if it were on purpose.
I wake up in the morning, I piss excellent.
R&R in the morning on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hey, good morning to you.
Good morning, good morning.
It's R&R in the morning, a Tuesday edition. It's 7 o'clock. You know what time it is. It's time for Star Telegram's very best, Clarence Hill Jr., joining us for his regular appearance. Morning, Clarence. How's your morning?
What's up, guys? How you guys doing this morning? It's Tuesday morning.
We're doing lovely, man. You back in Dallas, back in Fort Worth?
Yes, I am back home, man. It's always a adventure on the Monday after, late afternoon games, road games. We always have those 6 a.m. flights. You get no sleep. It's workout day. So, it is what it is, man. But I've been doing it since 97. So
Doing it since 97, and it seems like every flight back from Phoenix involves writing about a ridiculous loss, and you'd get to do it again. They shot themselves in the foot. Is there anything to take away from the game other than they can't stop the run and it was just a bad game all the way around?
yeah, I mean, I've been thinking about this, and I've got several different points. Yes, it's fun because I grew up, 70s, 80s, and knowing the Cowboys to own the Cardinals, way back to St. Louis, and,
Right.
and they never had trouble with the Cardinals. They used to put, treat them like Iowa State. Oh, you used to do Iowa State back in the day, and now it seems like the Cardinals own the Cowboys, which is kind of mind-boggling. Not like
It's crazy.
Cardinals franchise that's won anything, but they've owned the Cowboys of late. They're winning 7 of 8. But look at this Cowboys team. Number one, I think they got too big for their britches after the first 2 games, and that's one thing that this organization has done. They don't handle prosperity well. They think they've done something when they haven't done something, and that starts with Micah Parsons. I mean, let's he's been openly talking about. And the defense has been openly talking about being the best, ever, and comparing themselves to the Ravens and all the other stuff. You don't championship defenses don't lay an egg like that on the road. I mean, you watching the Eagles game last night, and Jalen Hurts and the Eagles offense has not been great, but their defense travels.
Right.
And that defense shows up every week. If you're going to be a great defense, in the championship level defense, you have to travel. There's no excuse for giving up 182 yards, in the first half, 222 yards rushing to a team that's one-dimensional, that really didn't want to pass, that only passes out of, because they set you with the run, but all they want to do is run the ball. And you couldn't do that. And that's, to me, that's a problem, and that was certainly the biggest problem Sunday. And then the Cowboys have this persecution complex, and I like Dak, and I talked about last week about Dak biting back, but him, when I asked him about the Cowboys needing a wake-up call, and he was like, this is what the media wanted. That's you guys, and this is what y'all wanted, so the media's happy. The media, that's BS. And then,
I heard that. I saw that. I saw that, Claire.
And then all the players complained about the referees and the officials' calls. And I mean, you're the Cowboys. As Bill Parcells said, you're playing in the big room. Yes, the target is on your back. Yes, people are not always going to root for you. People love you, people hate you, but you have to own it and accept it and just win. You're not the first Cowboys team that's been loved and hated, across the universe. It goes back. That predates you. That goes back to the Roger Staubach Cowboys. Goes back to the Troy Aikman Cowboys. They won, and this Cowboys team has to stop with the officials are against us. Yes, there were some calls that went against them, but they were their own issues on Sunday. It wasn't the officials. The officials are not the reason why you struggled in the red zone. The officials are not the reason why you gave 222 yards rushing. Not the reason why you were offside countless many times on defense. All the pre-snap penalties. You have to own it. Accept that that you get paid. You're on TV because you're Cowboys. It's gonna be the scrutiny because you're Cowboys. But you have to own that and win. And they have to learn how to win as Cowboys.
All right. You know what? we're not doing this today, Clarence. We're not gonna do this, man. We're not gonna do this.
Then
Look, this is what we're not
did I say
gonna.
wrong?
No, I'm gonna look. First of all, you knew, I knew, Rob knew it. The way the game is set up, it's almost impossible to be a historical defense. So we never bought into that narrative. With that said, we all know that there's going to be weeks that the defense struggles. And in their first opportunity, Mike McCarthy, Dak Prescott, and Shoddy failed at their opportunity to pick up the defense who's been carrying them. They failed.
Blame the offense for that loss.
No, I'm not blaming them. I'm not blaming them. What I'm saying is the defense was bad, Clarence, but okay, then the $200 million man and the play caller should be able to pick the defense up. We got to stop. We got to stop holding Dak's hand across the street now. He should have been able to pick it up and do something in the red zone, Clarence.
Let me take the gloves off right quick. First of all,
Let me get some popcorn. Hold on.
What's all I'm saying? It was the defense, but hey, the offense is supposed to pick them up.
Okay, listen, I think we talked about this. And you say I think the 49ers and the Eagles have great defenses, and they allow their offenses to, manage the game. That's been their formula of success. I mean, the 49ers was an NFC championship game 2 years ago with Jimmy Garoppolo. You saw him the other night. Jimmy Garoppolo's awful. Okay. He had 6 interceptions so far this season with a different team doesn't have great defense. So we understand the formula, especially in the NFC this year. You win with great defenses. Now, to your point, do you give any credence to the fact that 3 starting offensive linemen were out?
I thought Dak still had a good
starters.
time. I mean, Tony Pollard had 122 rushing yards. I thought the offensive line was serviceable.
I know, but you're looking at stats. I'm just asking, do you understand what they had to do to manage those, to get what they got with 3 offensive linemen out? And certainly they had to change their game plan the night before the game.
Right.
I mean, so that's a huge deal. I would say that I'll put more blame on Mike McCarthy in the sense that if those dudes been hurt all week, why did you expect them to play? Why didn't you get these guys ready to play? We talked to them yesterday. They said the offensive line certainly did a good job when called upon, on one day's notice, basically find out they're going to start. I don't know why they didn't prepare them and get them ready all week, especially the center and the right guard, because Zach Martin and Tyler Biadasz did not practice all week. Now, Tyron Smith suffered a knee injury on Saturday, which is crazy, this is going to be a venture all year, where Tyron Smith suffered a knee injury on Saturday before the game. But I think there's something to that played a role. And
that's
and
fair.
You say he had 100 yards, but, they still took plays out the playbook. He still called a different game because he was worried about pass protection. He's worried about the offensive line, which is one reason why, yes, he had 100 yards, but the play calling near the goal line was questionable, especially late in the game. He was running too much and not throwing the ball. He admitted yesterday he should have thrown the ball, been more aggressive, but they were worried about the offensive line, worried about protection. I think that certainly played a role in their not getting it done, especially in the red zone. That goes back for 2 weeks. I mean, it wasn't just last week, because even the week before when they were facing the Jets, they were 2 of 6 in the red zone touchdown opportunities, and yesterday and Sunday they were 1 of 5. Certainly, you want Dak and McCarthy to overcome that, but you can't overlook 222 yards rushing. I mean, even when the offense tried to get back in the game, it was the defense who gave it up again. I mean, they make the score 15-10 after the awful start, and the defense allows it. Philadelphia scored twice before the half. They scored every time they touched the ball in the first half. Second half, they cut the score to 5 again, and they give up a 69-yard play.
Yeah,
69-yard pass. You can't. The defense has to shut it down. I mean, that's you finally get momentum. You're trailing the whole game. You finally get some momentum to get back in the game, and you give up a 69-yard pass to a dude that's wide open.
Yeah, that was bad.
Now, is there a fix? Now, my worry here is, the backside of the defense, I think, will take care of itself. I think there's enough talent there that will, do what needs to be done to get where the Cowboys plan on going. But the run defense, is there a fix coming? I mean, can you see a way to scheme your way out of this?
Well, 2 things. The Cowboys are not going to face that type of mobile quarterback. Now, Eagles, yes, and they certainly won't face that this week with Mac Jones, and I don't think the Zeke and the Patriots have the speed in the backfield to take it to the house. Unlike what the Cardinals did. But yeah, it's going to be a problem. People are going to copy what the Cardinals did. In the run game and certainly try to use that. They talked all season that teams don't want to face the pass rush, so they're going to run on them. Well, they're going to run on them. And you know that. You know that coming in, and you still didn't stop the run. You still didn't take care of business. And let's be honest, you drafted Mozzie Smith to help stop this. Okay, you used a first round pick. You didn't take a tight end, which you could use because let's be honest, you don't have a special tight end. Those guys are just guys. Let's be honest about
Thank
that.
you, Clarence. Thank you.
We have agreement.
Thank you.
They're just guys, okay? And seriously, they're just guys.
They are.
You don't take a guard, which could help your offensive line problem because they were looking at a guard and possibly keeping Tyler Smith the left tackle and moving on from Tyron Smith. They don't take a guard, but they take a nose tackle in the first round to shore up their run defense and because he's strong as oxen, special and all this other stuff. He doesn't even start.
No. And doesn't appear to be getting any closer to starting either.
Another thing, Clarence, you not backing off of this sledgehammer. You not backing off of this. And you need, and again, I'm following you on Twitter. You're not saying that they should have brought Zeke back, but you are not getting off of this. You've been tweeting about it for 2-3 weeks in a row that they don't have that short yardage back / and then I think we can put the tight end in there as well because it's been Dak's safety blanket. It's been his Dak and a post up receiver like a Keenan Allen or something like that.
I've said it for 2 weeks. I mean, and I had an argument with the offense coordinator yesterday, and then we went to walk off, and he finally agreed with me. I made him agree with me, but he agreed with me. But no, seriously, they don't have a hammer. They don't have Tony Pollard had great numbers, between the 20s, and they had great numbers between the 20s. But near the goal line, where things are tougher, they don't have a hammer in the backfield. And you can say whatever you want about Zeke in his yards per carry. He scored 12 rushing touchdowns last year. Amen. He still has a nose for the end zone. They don't have that big. It was funny because Mike McCarthy was making talking about Zeke yesterday. I don't know if you saw my tweet, but he said the first thing he remembered about Zeke when he is a rookie when he was still coaching the Green Bay, when Zeke ran down the sideline, and said, that boy has a big head. He said, boy. He said he has a big head.
He didn't say boy, I know.
He didn't say boy. He said he has a big head. My God, he has a big head. And then he said, I didn't know he was so big and so thick.
Whoa, coach.
I'm doing the walk-off and say, Coach, you finna go viral, right?
I saw that.
You said Zeke was big and thick. I said, he's you going viral.
You look good in the shower, doesn't he?
Oh Lord!
Get away from me, Clarence. Not me, okay?
That's funny.
But anyway,
now, Clarence, how much of this depends on? I mean, let's be real. You don't have to be that good when you're running behind Zach Martin.
Well, yes, you don't, but you still need to be running behind Zach Martin. But again, I guess my other point is this: is that right now in the red zone, everything is about scheme. It has to be the right fit. It has to be blocked right. Dak has to come off his back foot. They threw 2 passes in the end zone to a 5'8" Brandon Cooks in the middle of the end zone.
You know what? It's not funny, but it's funny.
Yeah, because Mike McCarthy was like, I'm like, Brandon Cooks can't jump either. He said, Clarence, he was trying to say that you couldn't get up like that. I said, he can't either. You're throwing to a short guy in the middle of the end zone. Everything has to be perfect. You have to plant and put it off your back foot and throw the ball so he gets by the linebacker. That's the other issue. And I talk about they don't have a Dez Bryant. You saw that they don't have a Mike Williams. They don't have that guy on the outside. Right. Neither one of the tight ends are like Gronk. So everything has to be perfect. It has to be schemed right. Throw has to be perfect. When you have a mismatch, it don't have to be perfect. They can use their size to post up on somebody or whatever else. They don't have that type of player. Love CD, route running, all that stuff. He's not a post up receiver. He's not a jump ball receiver in the end zone. And Michael Gallup has similar traits, but he's not Dez Bryant. He's not a true mismatch like a Dez Bryant or Mike Williams. And again, none of the tight ends even fit that category. So Those are issues because everything has to be schemed right. It has to be blocked right. You have to have the right offensive lineman. When you don't have a hammer or you don't have a mismatch outside, everything has to be perfect. When not perfect, that's what you got the last 2 weeks.
Clarence, I will never say it to his face, but I am done with Tyron Smith. I can't count on him. Hey,
Please don't say it to his face.
I'm not going to be near him either.
Clarence, I can't count on him.
Only thing is he couldn't catch you. He'd pull a hammy.
I can't count on him. I can't count on him, Clarence. Like, at some point, he going to let me down. Your best ability is availability, and I just never know with him. I got to be.
Well, that's the question that I posed to the Cowboys all camp, and we certainly I posed to Jerry Jones. You know, you can't trust him to stay healthy. You can't. And why are you doing that? You know, again, that points back to them choosing a defensive tackle, whether to guard and let Tyler Smith just continue to play left tackle, you know, in the draft, because you can't trust that Tyler Smith is going to stay healthy. Maybe, you know, they were so happy he got through training camp, but shoot, as soon as the season started, he you know, he's been on injury report injuries, and now he missed a game, and you know, they don't know if he's going to be back, or any of them are going to be back this week. And this is something that bears watching every week, especially with Tyron Smith. There's always going to be something that's going to come up and that's going to, you know, prevent you from having your best guys out. To understand this, since the Cowboys drafted Tyler Smith in 2022 to be their left guard, they have not had their starting lineup out on the field on the offensive line in any game. You know, because Tyron missed the first 13 games last year. He comes back and Terrence is on the injury reserve with a torn ACL. This year, Tyler Smith misses the first 2 games of the season. He comes back, and you don't have Tyron Smith, Zach Martin, and Tyler Biadasz. So they have not had their first team offensive line. Really, they've only had maybe one practice, you know, this fall.
It seems like 2 years.
Team offensive line.
To be honest, it seems like 2 years. He is Clarence Hill Jr. Follow him on Twitter. Make sure you're reading his stuff. He's the best in the business. Clarence Hill Jr. right here on San Antonio Sports Star. Hey, man, have a good week. We'll talk to you next.
Thank you guys, man.